Hello guys. Hello guys and welcome to Astrology Coaching by Anatoly. There were so many people asking to make a video for fame and which are the indicators that show you that you're gonna be famous. So I decided to make such a video. And if you want to know these indicators and if you want to know why Kim Kardashian became famous with her sex tape porno clip, you have to watch till the end. We're starting now. So as I told you, there were so many people asking for to make a video for fame indicators. So now this will be the video for all the people who asked, and I'm going to first. There are different type of fames, as you know. I'm going to draw the chart. Again, I'm going to show you the houses. I don't know when I'm going to post this video, but depends. Still, I'm going to draw the chart now, and I'm going to show you. Oh, this is very ugly. Okay, so there are different types of fame. You know, you can become famous in the field, only in the field that you're working, or you can become famous like something like Lady Gaga or something like Mariah Carey. There are different types of fame, so you have to check again the whole chart. The strength of the whole chart is very important. You have to check everything. If you have generally strong chart, this means that it is a good indicator that you'll be successful, probably famous. Let's say this chart will be with Aquarius Ascendant, for example. Okay, I made a chart. So this is the chart. Aquarius Ascendant, that's why it's 11 here. It is 11 here. And first you have to check, as I told you, the whole chart and the strength and the situation, what is going on in the chart. This will show you what will be your fame, in which field will be your fame. Every planet will show something about whether you'll be famous, whether you'll be successful, what will be the issues, what type of challenges you're going to face, and whether you'll be able to leave a legacy, for example. But of course, first house is your personality. First house is your fame. First house is you. This is what you are. I hope you see it. It is your life, it is your fame, and this house has to be strong. In this case, this is Saturn. If Saturn is the ruler of this chart, because Aquarius is the ascendant. If Saturn is exalted, for example, in the fourth house, in Kendra or Trikona, or it's in old sign in Kendra or Trikona, this is good sign. This is a good factor that you can become famous in specific field and you can be successful. This is the first thing. First house, the aspects of the first house, they will show you more about personality. Your personality, they will make you different probably from the crowd, and this can help you to be seen. The other thing that you have to check is the fifth house. Fifth house is here. This is the fifth house. This is your creativity. This is your way of expressing yourself, and fifth house is responsible for fame. The other house is seventh house. Seventh house is this one. Seventh house is the masses. They are the other people, not only the spouse. This is the other people, the crowd. So you have to check your seventh house and the situation of the seventh house. And of course, the memory was full, and I recorded the video without even recording it. Okay, so we reached the seventh house. Seventh house is the masses, is the other people. So it's very important for you to check whether you want to, if you want to be famous. It has to be in a good position, and the Lord of the seventh house should be in good position too. The other house that is very important is the 10th house. I already drew it while I was thinking I was recording. 10th house is the house of your career. This is the house of your professional achievements, your promotions. So, and this is your public image, to be honest. This is how people will accept you, how they are going to think about you. This is the 10th house. So, the Lord of the 10th house, the situation of the 10th house, and the Lord and situation of first house are very, very important. First and 10th house are the houses that can show you whether you will be famous, how you're going to be famous. So these lords have to be in a good position, and the houses have to be in a good position if you want to be famous. Of course, 5th, creativity, 7, masses are very important too. Just saying that in this, for fame and for great fame, first lord and 10th lord are very, and first house and 10th house are very important. 11th house is very important too. This is the house of other people. This is the house of gains and wishes and desires. This is the house of your professional network circles. So, for example, if you have good planets, you can become very famous doctor, especially in the professional circles. And maybe you will not be like Lady Gaga, but still you'll be famous among your colleagues and in the field. So 11th house is very important too. So you have to check it too. The other thing, you have to check D9 chart. This is Navamsha chart. This is the soul of the birth chart. You have to check the positions there. You have to check the 10th lord. 10th lord of the birth chart. You have to check where it is placed in your Navamsha. This can give you more information about your fame. D10 chart. This is the Samsha chart. This is the divisional chart of your career. You have to make full analysis of this chart. Absolutely everything you have to check as though it is your birth chart, and it will give you additional information about your career. The Lord of the D10, the 10th Lord of the birth chart, you have to check it in the divisional chart, where it is placed. It is very important. You can check the Lord of the birth chart. I mean the first house. Where is it placed in the D10 chart? So you have to make full analysis of the Samsha chart. The other thing that some astrologer says, that if you want to see whether you'll be famous, you have to check the first planetary period, dasha, that you are born. The dasha that you are born will show you whether you'll be famous. What I mean, if you are born in the dasha of the Lord of the first house or the Lord of the 10th house, this means that you become famous later on in life. For example, if you have moon in Jeshta, this means that Mercury is the ruler, right? Jeshta is ruled by Mercury. This means that you will start your dasha, your first dasha will be Mercury, because moon is in Jeshta and it is ruled by Mercury. And if you have ascendant or 10th house that is in Gemini or Virgo, this means that you become famous because you are born in the dasha of the Lord of the first or 10th house. So you can check now your dasha. Of course, there are many factors, and you have to check many things in order to know whether you'll be famous or you're not gonna be famous, how you're gonna be famous, and are you going to keep this fame? maybe you become infamous, you know, maybe you can become famous with bad things. So you have to check this. But if you are born in the dasha of the Lord of the first or 10th house, this is a good indicator for fame according to some Vedic astrologers. I can say about planets now. I can say that every planet can bring fame in your chart, especially if it's in the 10th house. Venus in 10th house in a good position can give you fame in fashion industry, for example, in beauty industry. Sun can make you a big CEO, a big manager, and can create big business people, Sun in the 10th house. Moon is the masses, Moon is the other people. So Moon in 10th house with Rahu is a big yoga for fame. Rahu and Moon in the 10th house or 7th house is a good indicator for fame. Of course, Rahu in the 10th, 7th, 11 can give fame too. They say that Sun, if there are planets conjunct with Sun, they become more bright because Sun is very bright. It illuminates the other planet. Of course, if they are not combusted, if they are not too close to the Sun, Sun will shine over them and it will impose their qualities. So, for example, if you have Sun and Mercury, this means that, and Mercury is not combusted, this means that Sun will make other people see the brilliant qualities of your Mercury, for example. The other thing that shows you what kind of fame you have is so-called arudha lagna. Arudha lagna is a part of the Gemini branch in Vedic astrology, and it shows your public image. So now I'm going to teach you how you can calculate your arudha lagna. So let's say I'm going to take this chart. So the Lord of the Aquarius here is Saturn. Let's say that Saturn is in the 5th house. So Saturn is in the 5th house. So now, if you want to calculate the arudha lagna, you have to see the places from the 1st house, to calculate the places from the 1st house to the 5th house. Of course, it is 5, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Saturn is 5 places away from the lagna, from the 1st house. Then you count again 5 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry. So for this chart, so for this chart, this will be your arudha lagna. Libra will be arudha lagna. So now you make another chart where all the planets will move in a way your chart will be moved with Libra ascendant. So So this will, how it is going to look. This is the small chart, will be your arudha lagna. I moved all the chart, all the birth chart, I moved in a way that Libra will be your ascendant. So see, Saturn from 5th house goes now to your 9th house. And you make analysis of your arudha lagna. And in this way you are going to see whether it is how other people will accept you and what will be your public image. Okay, this is Anurada. For example, if you have Saturn in the 4th house, you have to count 4 places. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have to count 4 places from this position. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have to make here, if Saturn is in the 4th house, then your arudha lagna will be your 7th house Leo. So you make another chart with Leo Ascendant, and you are going to analyze your arudha lagna, and this will help you to understand more what kind of fame you are going to have. So now we are going to check Kim Kardashian, your favorite American star, and why she became famous. Okay? So now I'm going to open Miss Kardashian Miss Kardashian chart, and I have hidden some of the information of Kim Kardashian. First, arudha lagna. Here arudha lagna is very easy. You see the lagna here, and the lagna is Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and Mars is in the first house. So it is in its own sign, and basically her arudha lagna is against Scorpio. Because Mars is in the first house, you count 1, which is the first house, and you don't rotate anything. This is her arudha lagna. There are some theories, different theories about how to calculate your arudha lagna. Some astrologer says that arudha lagna cannot be first or seventh house, and you have to calculate additional 10 places, but this, I don't use this method. My teachers told me that every house can be arudha lagna. So in this case, first house is her arudha lagna too. Okay? So we are going to see fame indicators. First, the first house. First house is very strong. Why it's very strong? Scorpio is very sexual sign, you know. It is powerful, sexual, very intense sign. Mars is intense planet too, and Scorpio it gets very sexual, very sexy, very with strong sex appeal, magnetic. That's why her appearance is very magnetic, because Mars is in Scorpio, and it makes her very it makes her sex symbol. The co-ruler of Scorpio is Ketu, and you see Ketu is in the third house. This is the house of communication, the house of TV, the house of reality TV. So there is a reason she is famous, because the lords of the lord of the first house are strong. Public image is the same as in reality, because the arudha lagna is same as the birth chart. If the arudha lagna is different, this means that the public image that one person has is different from the real person. You know, there are some people who have who are different on the TV, and in real life are totally different from what they present on the TV. This is because they have different arudha lagna. Mars, as I told you, is in the ascendant, which give her sexual power, charisma, and she is known, as I told you, for her appearance. The other thing, Venus is in Leo. Venus is in Leo in the 10th house, fame. Venus is shining. Venus is the planet of beauty, fashion, cinema, and is in the sign of Leo, which is the most creative and glamorous sign. This is the sign of cinema, of fame, of prosperity. Leo is the king. So Venus feels very happy and very happy in the sign of Leo. Of course, they are enemies, but still, Venus feels very happy in this sign. And in 10th house brings fame related to the traits of the planet Venus. And see now what is the nakshatra of Venus. The nakshatra of Venus is Purva Phalguni, as you can see below, Purva Phalguni constellation. And this is the constellation that you can find a lot in the charts of porn actors. That's why I told you why Kim Kardashian became famous with her porn video, because the planet that is responsible really for her fame in the 10th house is Venus, and Venus is in the constellation Purva Phalguni, which is very sexual, constellation. And as I told you, most of the porn actors have Purva Pauguni or Uttara Pauguni constellation in their charts. Very, very strong. What about the plastic surgeries? The plastic surgery is, for this is responsible, of course, the Scorpio, because the Scorpio is the sign of transformation. Sign of transformation, sign of changing, and people, and Mars is cut, surgery, bruises. So this means there will be a lot of surgeries probably. And of course, cosmetic surgeries in this case. Other indicators for fame: Saturn and Jupiter conjunct in the 11th house. This means money, this means circles. When Saturn and Jupiter are together in a house, they really emphasize this house. So 11th house are gain, desires, money, and as you can see, she is very famous. And I mean, she is very rich and wealthy. This is because Saturn and Jupiter are conjunct in the 11th house, the house of money and gains. The other indicators for fame is Moon in the 5th house. So this speaks for unique creativity, a very dreamy person, and 5th house is the house of fame too, as I told you. And Moon there is in Pisces, very creative sign, very musical sign, very talented sign, and I'm pretty sure she is a very creative person and very humanitarian person, philanthrop, person who wants to help society, because Moon in Pisces always helps society. Pisces is the sign of humanitarian, and people who want to serve and help other people, nature, animals, and everything. D10 chart, as I told you, is very, very important too. So you see here Rahu in the 10th house. When you see Rahu in the 10th house, this means fame. Sun and Mars again together in Scorpio, money, big social groups, and fame again. Of course, there are some issues, most probably, with the father, because the father, as you can see in the birth chart, is the sun, which is the karaka of the father, is debilitated. So maybe there will be issues with the father. I'm not sure what's going on with the father of Kim Kardashian, but I'm pretty sure he's missing or he is not part of her life, because sun is in the 12th house, debilitated, which means 12th house is isolation, loss, expenditure. So most probably there will be some kind of loss or isolation regarding her father. So these are the main indicators. As you can see, the Lord of the first house is very strong. Venus in the 10th house is very strong. Saturn and Jupiter for money in the 11th house. Moon in the 5th house is very strong. In the D10 chart, the Lord of the 10th house and the Lord of the first house are in the 11th house. The other people, money, gains. Rahu is in the 10th house. When you see Rahu in the 10th house, this means your destiny is to be seen. Your destiny is to show yourself to the other people. If you have Rahu in the 10th house, you have to go out. You have to be on the scene. You have to show yourself, show your face, because your mission in your life is to be seen and to be heard. Maybe in your field, in your professional field, but you have to get out from the comfort zone and go out and shine. Okay? If you have Rahu in the 10th house. What else? So this is just a brief indication. The interesting thing that I saw in this chart is about the Venus and the nakshatra, the porn nakshatras, Purva Pauguni and Uttara Pauguni. This is very interesting because basically she became famous with the porn clip, the porn video that she made. This was the thing that made her famous, and Venus is in this nakshatra in the 10th house of the house of fame and career. So with this, I'm closing that video. This was the third attempt I'm doing this video. So I hope you like it, and see you soon.